Winchester has expanded their Silvertip power to defend line to now include an offering in 22 long rifle. Now, I'm not going to go too far into the rabbit hole of whether or not you should use 22 long rifle for self-defense. I'm just here to present some data that hopefully will prove useful to you when making your own decision about using 22 long rifle for self-defense. According to the package, the 22 long rifle Silvertip has a 37 grain plated segmenting hollow point with a muzzle velocity of 1,060 feet per second from a 3.5-inch barrel. I'll do some chrono testing to verify that velocity. If that number holds true, that's going to be pretty impressive. Usually 22 long rifle needs a rifle barrel length to get velocities above 1,000 feet per second. So it's a pretty big claim by Winchester to say that they can break 1,000 feet per second with just 3.5 inches of barrel with their 22 Silvertip. Okay, let's talk some numbers here real quick. With a 37 grain bullet at 1,060 feet per second, we get a calculated muzzle energy of 92 foot-pounds. For comparison, let's look at Winchester's 115 grain 9mm Silvertip. The package advertises 1,225 feet per second at the muzzle, resulting in 383 foot-pounds of energy. Just from the numbers, we can see that the 22 Silvertip is at a significant disadvantage compared to the 9mm Silvertip. Doing some basic math, we see that the 9mm produces roughly 4.16 times more energy than the 22. Okay, let's go to the range to do some chrono testing to get some measured numbers. For comparison purposes, I'll also test the 9mm Silvertip. The test gun will be a Springfield XDS with a 3.3-inch barrel. Unfortunately, Winchester did not state the barrel length used to get their advertised muzzle velocity. I'm using the XDS as the test gun since concealed carry right now is really popular, and the Micro 9s currently produced usually have a barrel length right around the 3 to 3.5 inch mark. For the 22 Silvertip, I'll be using a Smith & Wesson 617 revolver with a 4-inch barrel. The barrel is a 1/2 inch longer than the one Winchester used for their velocity number, but a revolver has an air gap between the front of the cylinder and the rear of the barrel. Some velocity will be lost due to gas escaping through that gap.
Who farted?
So whatever velocity will be gained from the extra 1/2 inch of barrel will probably be lost through that air gap. Okay, enough of all the numbers and calculations. Let's see what all that translates into when actually shooting something. I'll be shooting at a 64-ounce ice block backed up by another 64-ounce container filled with just water. First, the 9mm Silvertip. Fun filmmaking fact: slow motion makes everything look a lot cooler. This impact didn't look all that cool in real time. Well, looks like I didn't need that water container after all. The 9mm Silvertip did not perforate the ice block. It got close, but it got stopped right there at the rear wall. Here's the 9mm Silvertip bullet and its fragments. Some pretty good expansion. The bullet did start to break apart, but it was just the petals, or some of the petals, being sheared off. As you can see, the base and core did stay together. Okay, now time for the 22 Silvertip. Seeing as how the 9mm Silvertip couldn't perforate the ice block, I really don't think the 22s have any chance, so I'm going to shoot 3 times at the ice block, just to see what happens. As I expected, the 22 Silvertips could not pass through the ice block, but one did make it all the way to the back wall. Unfortunately, I don't know which bullet that is. Was it the first, the second, the third? I didn't keep track. If I had to guess, well, actually that is what I'm doing, guessing. I'm guessing it was the third one. I'm guessing that because I'm thinking that the 2 previous shots broke up the ice just enough so that the third one would encounter less resistance. Here's the bullet that made it all the way to the back wall and a fragment that was closest to it. This fragment may not be the only one that came off this bullet. It's possible there were other fragments, they just didn't make it as far. Here are the other 2 bullets and the rest of the fragments that were in the ice. Some pretty interesting results here. So if you look at the bullet on the right, there's some pretty gnarly expansion / deformation going on. But the bullet on the left and the bullet that made it to the back wall really don't show a whole lot of expansion. Now, keep in mind that Winchester does advertise the 22 Silvertip as a segmenting hollow point. So it is possible that this particular hollow point is performing as designed, to have the front part of the bullet fragment while the base of the bullet continues on. And that'll do it for this video. Hopefully this data proves useful to you. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.